Jai Gurudev, dear students, welcome again in this science class. So children, we have started chapter number 1, nutrition in plants. So under this chapter, I have explained you about the nutrition, that what is nutrition and what are the nutrients. Okay, so whatever things, or we can say substances present in our food, because of those substances we utilize our food, those substances are called as nutrients, just like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. These all are nutrients. So after this, nutrition is a process through which we taken our food into our body and nutrients are absorbed and utilized. Okay, so this process is called as nutrition. So nutrition we have studied into two categories, means this process of nutrition is of two types. First is autotrophic and second is heterotrophic. And under autotrophic nutrition, we have studied about the photosynthesis in detail. Remember this through this diagram I explained you in the first class, means during the first class of this chapter, that how plants prepare their food by the utilization of carbon dioxide, water, and in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, which is present in green part of the plant. This process of photosynthesis completed. Okay, and children, after this, during this process we have studied that food is prepared in the form of sugars, okay, and oxygen, which is life supporting gas, that is released during this process. So this photosynthesis takes place in case of green plants. That's why we call all the green plants as autotrophs, or they show autotrophic nutrition. So this, after this process, in the last class I have explained you about the raw materials for photosynthesis. So what are the raw materials, means what materials are required for photosynthesis, that I explained you about water, chlorophyll, light and carbon dioxide. Okay, so about this we have already studied. So after that we started about heterotrophic nutrition also in the last time, and under heterotrophic nutrition I explained you this is the process which is adapted by the some plants also. Okay, to fulfill their nutrition demand, heterotrophic nutrition is also adopted by some plants. So under this category, different type of nutrition means are there. 4 kind of heterotrophic nutritions are there, which we are studying, and out of them I have explained you about the insectivorous plants. So what are the 4 type of heterotrophic nutrition? First is insectivorous, second is parasitic, third saprophytic, and fourth is symbiotic. Okay, so these 4 types of heterotrophic nutrition we will study, uh, out of which insectivorous plants, I explained you that some plants which grow in the soil which has lack of nitrogen in that soil. Okay, they grow in that soil which have uh, less amount of nitrogen is present. Okay, so they fulfill their requirement of protein, or we can say for the requirement of nitrogen, they started catching and digesting small insects. You can see here, I explained you in the last class that in case of pitcher plant, this insect, you can see when it sits on the leaves of pitcher plant, and leaves are modified in pouch like structure, and as the insect sits on it, this flap immediately closes, and inside this pouch like structure, insect digested. Okay, so after this pitcher plant, I explained you about the Drosera, which is called sundew. It has also modified structure to catch their insects. Okay, and in the same way we have studied about the Venus flytrap also, in which, see, their leaves are modified in this way, like 2 flaps are there, and as insect come into it, and both they collapse with each other, means both are both closes to trap the insect. So in this way they eat insects, digest insects inside them, so that's why they are called as insectivorous plants, because insects have high amount of protein and they provide large amount of nitrogen to the plants, so that's why plants adapt this kind of nutrition. So children, next topic is parasitic plants, which today we study in detail. So what are the parasites? Children, a parasitic plant is one that fulfills some or all of its nutritional requirements from another living plant. Means these are the category of plants which take nutrition from the another living plant. Understood? Means they utilize the prepared food from other plants, and on which plant they grow, that plant is called as host. Okay, and in this you can see the example of cuscuta plant. Cuscuta plant, children, you must have seen in some trees some climber like plants, they grow on the trees. Okay, and these plants, they grow slowly and cover whole tree and send some finger like projections into the stem or branches of the trees, so that plants, this plant, cuscuta plant, can easily absorb prepared food from the tree. Okay, so means the tree on which it grows, the tree is called host, and this cuscuta plant is called as parasite for that plant. the tree. Okay, so in this you can see here, Cuscuta is a scientific name of this plant, and in common language people used to say doders. Okay, and it is very commonly visible if you see any kind of this स्ट्रक्चर मीन्स क्लाइंबर लाइक प्लांट्स, जैसे बेल होती है ना, बेल ट्रीज के ऊपर पूरा ग्रो होके और कवर कर लेती हैं ट्री को. ओके, सो दीज काइंड ऑफ प्लांट्स आर कॉल्ड एज parasitic plants because they are not preparing their food. They directly take their food from the host tree or host plant. Okay, and slowly that tree on which it grows, that tree becomes weak and it dries up. So second plant they have, second example of parasitic plant is mistletoe. You can see here, this is the mistletoe plant and it is a parasite and it also grows on some trees. Okay, and as it grows on the trees, it flourish and draw the nutrition from the host plant, and host plant slowly dries up. Understood? Means whenever parasitic nutrition is there, or when we study about the parasitic nutrition, we can see that parasites are the plants which give harm to the host plant. ओके, मीन्स इसमें एक को बेनिफिट हो रहा है, एक तो न्यूट्रिशन ले रहा है, बट जिस प्लांट से, होस्ट प्लांट से वो न्यूट्रिशन ले रहा है, वो होस्ट प्लांट को वो हार्म पहुंचाता है, मीन्स उसको वो नुकसान पहुंचा रहा है. तो वन इन दिस काइंड ऑफ रिलेशनशिप, वन विल गेट बेनिफिट एंड अदर पार्टनर विल गेट हार्म. Okay, so this is called parasites or parasitic nutrition. So after this, saprophytic plants. So what are these plants? Let's study. Plants that absorb their nutrition from dead or decaying organic matter are called saprophytic plants. So children, some plants are coming under that category also, which grow on dead or decaying matter. Organic matter means plants matter. In case of parasitic plants, I have explained you that this type of category of plants, they grow on the living plant, but here they grow or they obtain their nutrition from dead or decaying organic matter. Okay, so main difference between parasitic and saprophytic nutrition is this only. Means parasitic nutrition, in parasitic nutritions, host is always living, means parasites live on or take nutrition from the living organism, living plant. But here some plants are there which grow on dead or decaying matter, organic matter. Okay, so they are called as saprophytic plants. Means those plants which grow on dead or decay matter, they are called as saprophytic plants. Saprophytic plants do not have green leaves and they usually grow in shady areas like dense dark forest, so they cannot engage in photosynthesis. So it is clear that in saprophytic plants will not perform photosynthesis, means they are not able to prepare their own food because they are not generally green in color. Okay, best example of saprophytic plant is mushroom. You all have seen mushroom. What are the mushrooms? And mushrooms always grow on dead or decay matter. Okay, वो कभी भी लिविंग प्लांट पे ग्रो नहीं करते हैं मशरूम्स. बट इन योर बुक 2 examples they have given. One is coral roots and second is Indian pipe. Means this is also a category of saprophytic plant. You can see its color is white, and where it grows you can see this matter is a dead and decay organic matter. Organic matter means which matter is of plant or animals. So that on that matter they grow. Okay, so what are the coral roots? You can see coral roots are nearly leafless and mostly do not have any chlorophyll. So you know children, always leaves help the plant to prepare food, but in coral roots means this plant there is no presence of leaf, means they are leafless and they do not have any kind of chlorophyll, so they can't prepare their food. That's why they adapt saprophytic type of nutrition, means they grow on dead and decay matter, dead organic matter. So they obtain their nutrition from dead organic matter. Okay, and all the kind of fungi, फंगस आपने नाम सुना होगा, फंगस जितनी भी होती हैं वो भी एक प्लांट की ही कैटेगरी में आती हैं, एंड दे ऑल आर ग्रोइंग ऑन डेड और डिके मैटर. आपको पता है जो आपके खराब फूड जितने भी होते हैं, जब वो ख़राब हो जाते हैं फूड, इवन यू कैन टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ ब्रेड पीस ऑल्सो. इफ़ यू कीप any bread piece at any dark corner of your home, if you keep for 2-3 days, fungus start growing on that bread piece. Okay, so that fungus is also coming under the saprophytic plant. So next example they have given as Indian pipe. Okay, this one. So Indian pipe plant is white and does not contain any chlorophyll. So without the presence of chlorophyll, any plant can't prepare its food. So that's why this Indian pipe plant also adapt this mode of nutrition, and it also acquire most of its nutrition from neighboring decaying plant matter, because it cannot synthesize its own energy. This plant is called as saprophyte. Okay, so that's why they are called as saprophyte, because they can't prepare their own food because of loss of chlorophyll, and that's why they adapt this method, means they start growing on dead or decay organic matter. Okay, so after this I have explained you children what is a generally dead and decay organic matter. You can see here they have given, I already told you about the fungus when it grows on our food, stale food. You might have noticed greenish structure grow on the bread slice, stale food, or on leather shoes in warm and humid conditions. Generally during rainy season you can see all these conditions. Okay, अगर हम कहीं पे वेट शूज़ रख देते हैं, कहीं पे हमारे इवन क्लोथ्स भी होते हैं रखे हुए जिनको हम पहन के ऐसे रख देते हैं और उन पे फंगस ग्रो होना स्टार्ट हो जाती है. इवन ऑन द ब्रेड स्लाइस आर स्टेल फूड मीन्स बासी फूड or any leather shoes. Okay, so this fungus is also a saprophytic kind of organisms. They do not prepare their food with the help of photosynthesis. That's why they adapt this saprophytic mode of nutrition. So children, about mushroom they have written here. In the past, fungi were believed saprophytic plants. They are not considered plants anymore. They now belong to a separate kingdom of fungi, completely different from both plants and animals. Means previously scientists they kept the fungi under the plant kingdom, but now they came to know that fungi is a separate kind of individuals. They are not, means their characteristics neither match with the plants nor with the animals. Okay, so that's why they have kept under the separate kingdom. So fungi are the individuals, organisms which are completely different from plants and animals. And best example of fungi you can take as mushroom, because it is our largest fungi which we can see easily. Okay, and this is a edible fungi also. Mushrooms are nutritious enough and people used to take means prepare many dishes from the mushrooms. And children, after this we will study about the symbiotic plants. So what is symbiosis? Symbiosis is a special kind of interaction between two or more organisms that live closely. Symbiotic organisms live together and share nutrients, shelter, or other resources. Many trees have symbiotic relationship with certain fungi that live in their roots. The fungi help the tree to take nutrients and water from the soil, and in turn the tree provides nutrient to the fungi need. This is a mutually helpful symbiotic relationship. So children, in this symbiotic relationship, what happens? One partner which is present in the roots of other plant they both are beneficial to each other. Means in the parasitic condition we have seen that one is getting benefit and other will get harm. But in this case, one plant will get benefit, means both the plants or both the category of individuals will get benefit from each other. Here they have given example, means some trees fungus is living in their roots, okay, and fungus help the tree to draw the nutrients and water from the soil. In turn, what plant is giving to them, tree provide nutrient to the fungi and provide shelter, रहने की प्लेस देता है वो उसको, and nutrient also tree provide to that plant, fungus. So that's why both are getting benefit by living with each other. And second example is leguminous plants. Children, leguminous plants are those plants which have pod like fruits. Pod like fruits, pod means फली जैसे जो fruits होते हैं, just like pea plant, even France bean, and you can see all the pulses have pod like fruits, even groundnuts. These all are coming under the category of leguminous plants. And in leguminous plants, in their roots, means the roots of leguminous plants, one bacteria is always living which is called rhizobium. Okay, its name is rhizobium. And the bacteria can transform nitrogen gas from the atmosphere into fixed nitrogen that the plants can use, and turn the plant provide nutrition necessary for the bacteria growth. So here you can see, children, here this is rhizobium, means this is the root of leguminous plants, and you can see these small beaded structures or knot like structures in which bacteria are present. Rhizobium is present in the roots of leguminous plants, and this bacteria help the plant to get nitrogen from the air, because plants cannot get that nitrogen directly from the atmosphere. These bacteria fix nitrogen and provide to the plants, and in turn plants provide shelter to this bacteria and give nutrition also, provide nutrition also to this rhizobium. Okay, so in this way both plant as well as bacteria both are beneficial to each other. So that's why they are coming under the category of symbiosis or symbiotic plants. So children, many plants they get nutrition to the plants. So our last topic of this chapter is replenishment of nutrients in the soil. Means plants provide replenishment, means again when plants, how the soil get nutrition when there is deficiency of nutrients in the soil. So plants provide food to all living beings on earth. Plants themselves need nutrients to grow and make food. They absorb necessary nutrients from the soil. As a result, nutrients level in the soil go down and there is a nitrogen deficiency in the soil. So nutrients can be replenished in the soil using fertilizers, manures that are enriched with nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. Children, these are the important nutrients for plants. So when we grow our crop plants again and again in the same field, there is a deficiency of nutrients which we have studied in this paragraph, and to replenish, to re-get those kind of nutrients, plant adapt different methods, and we artificially provide those nutrients in the form of fertilizers, okay, fertilizers as well as manures जिसको आप खाद बोलते हो. So those manures and fertilizers, they provide nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus to the soil. So a natural way to replenish nitrogen in the soil is symbiotic interaction of rhizobium and leguminous plants. So that's why we have studied this one, means this process, or we can say roots of leguminous plants, they provide naturally these kind of nutrients to the soil. Okay, so hence growing legume crops can increase nitrogen content of soil. So children, in the natural way, plants can replenish the soil when we grow leguminous plants in between our main crops. Okay, so it is beneficial to grow the leguminous plants after these kind of main crops like wheat and rice, so that nutrients can be replenished in it. So children, with this our chapter number 1 is completed. So next time I'll provide you with the question answers. So Jai Gurudev to all of you.